Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a different episode of Light Sports Ramble, normally at night. But as I put on Twitter yesterday, I was trying to get some input about sleeper teams this year and sleeper teams that would make the playoffs. Not teams that are just going to be better and maybe surprise some teams and get a win. I wanted to talk about true sleeper teams this year that are not in that group of expected playoff teams that we would consider sleeper teams that can make the playoffs. And so I got a little bit of response yesterday afternoon. I was going to set it up with a guest caller. And yes, folks, the Red Light Sports Ramble will have a guest caller in the near future. I had it set up last night. He got called to work for a meeting, so it didn't happen. And so I thought at that point, I'm going to post again on Twitter and see if I can get a little more input. And I appreciate all the input that I got back. And I got a lot of teams. But I think I got a lot of teams where it's hopeful that they'll get better, but I just don't think they have enough to get to the playoffs. Such as the Buffalo Bills. I think they'll be better. The Browns, I think they'll be better. But I want to talk about teams that are not being discussed currently as expected playoff teams. And I'm going to take one from the AFC, one from the NFC. My AFC sleeper team is Kansas City. Not a lot of talk about them being able to make the playoffs, primarily because they're in the division with Denver. But when I look at Kansas City, and I look at what Andy Reid can bring to the table with Alex Smith, it just seems like there's opportunity there. I like the receiving core. They have Jamal Charles, pretty good offensive line, and a good defense. So what's to say that Kansas City cannot get a wild card? And when I look at the overall dimensions of the AFC, I think they have a good shot to get the wild card. I don't think they're going to beat Denver for the division title, so it's going to have to be a wild card. But I like Kansas City making a push to get one of the wild cards in the AFC. So that's my sleeper team in the AFC. It's Kansas City. In the NFC, I really had a hard time just having to pick one. So it could be like 1A, 1B. But I think one of these two teams is going to get a wild card. And I think it's either going to be Tampa Bay or Carolina. I like what Tampa Bay did in the offseason. I think they filled some gaps. But as I put in my ramble before the season, it's all up to Josh Freeman. Inconsistent play. 1 week he looks like an NFL superstar. The next week he looks like a rookie that doesn't know what's going on. So a lot is going to fall onto Josh Freeman's shoulders. But I like the additions that they made in the offseason to try and make a push. Now again, in a very tough division. But I think if the pieces fall into place, Tampa Bay could contend for a wild card, along with Carolina. And I know the power rankings came out, and those that listen all the time know that I was a little upset that Carolina was ranked so high. I don't think they're a bad team. I just don't think they should be ranked that high in the power rankings. My question here is, where are the weapons on the outside? Where can Cam Newton go with the ball? Because they're going to have a great defense. I think great defense. Top 5 defense in my mind. But offensively, are they going to have enough firepower on the outside? That's my only question with Carolina. And so if one of these receivers can step up to be a good number 2, I think you could see Carolina sneak into the playoffs. And so, my sleeper teams in the NFC, Tampa Bay and Carolina. Now, I almost went with Dallas, but you know what? Some people are talking about the three-way race in the NFC East and putting Dallas in that conversation. So, to me, that really wasn't a sleeper, and that goes out because somebody threw that out on Twitter. But I don't think they're really considered a sleeper team because that division is wide open. But again, folks, my sleeper teams this year to watch out for that could do some damage and actually make a legitimate push for the playoffs that nobody's talking about: Kansas City in the AFC, Carolina and Tampa Bay in the NFC. So again, I appreciate all the banter on Twitter yesterday, all of the feedback on your teams. Tonight, I am going to try to put in place the first ever call-in to the Red Light Sports Ramble, a guest speaker who's going to talk about his sleeper teams. So really today is a first. It's going to be a double episode of the Red Light Sports Ramble. Excited about that. With that said, everyone, I'll see you at the next red light. Have a great day.